There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Hello everyone and welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 12, or the season finale of season 1 of Superstition.
Now, we still haven't heard anything.
No, we haven't.
That's so weird.
And when we got the original notification that this show was coming, everything said 13 episodes.
Did it?
So Yeah, and I don't know what happened to the last episode. Or a episode. I don't know if they dropped one or what. But
oh, yeah, that's always fun when they show stuff out of order, but it didn't seem like that.
No, it didn't. But I was sure expecting a 13th episode, especially the way this one ended.
That's true. I didn't even realize that. I mean, it seems like it was forever ago when we first started this, even though it wasn't. But, oh, that's weird. I wonder what happened. Well, if anybody's seen something, because obviously Steve and I don't scour the internet like all day, every day. So if you've seen something about why it was canceled, let us know. SyFy Talk at fangirlzone.com. So You did get some numbers, though, for us.
Yes, we did. Episode 12 brought in a 0.12 in adults 18 to 49 with 0.317 million viewers, making it the 98th rated cable show for the day. And the Live Plus 7s did not make the top 25. Yes, unfortunately. But we do have some, again, finally.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So, episode 12. Dun, dun, dun. This is sad that it's season finale because we don't know anything else. But,
right.
Episode 12, Resurrection. The Dredge possesses Calvin to break free of the Ring of Solomon and re-inhabit his original body. The Hastings must combine their powers to defeat him. Now, is it just me, or does it seem like it's been a really long time since the Dredge was in that body?
Yeah.
And, why is that body still just kind of hanging around?
That's a really good question. You would think it would be decaying pretty well, unless they, of course, had it in the freezer stored away.
Yeah, but why didn't they, I don't know, bury it, burn it, something?
Yeah, completely destroy it so he couldn't at least re-inhabit his old body.
Something. Just, ugh. Because they had done an autopsy.
Right.
I don't know. That just seems weird to me, that they're like, oh, we're just going to hold on to this for a while. Okay. Anyway, let's jump in with the Dredge whispering in Calvin's ear. Because that's not weird enough that he hears voices because of the ring. Let's just have it happen a little too often.
Right.
And kind of turning Calvin all dark side.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And we see it real quickly.
Right. And it was super, super creepy. I don't even know how to say this without being oh.
Yeah.
Because he goes to see May. And you can tell, Calvin and possessed Calvin.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised May couldn't tell. Unless she was just so off guard because of what was happening.
More than likely.
Because basically he was pushing for the whole, let's get real intimate real fast, even though she said no. And then he just kept saying weird things, which you knew it didn't feel like Calvin.
Right.
When he's like, oh, I'm going to enjoy breaking you. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Where'd that come from?
Yeah. Just the weird little things. And thankfully, before it gets really bad, Garvey comes in and interrupts. And suddenly, Calvin isn't himself, but he's not being this total jackass.
Right. He gets a little bit of himself back, enough to exit stage left as quickly as possible.
But then he said something kind of creepy to her, too.
Yeah.
And, oh, God, I can't remember all of it offhand, but it was something about, oh, we're going to teach you respect or something. It's like, it was almost like under his breath.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this has got to be weird. And I mean, Garvey even realized something was up because she does tell Russ, like, this is weird. And of course he doesn't know.
He thinks she just interrupted sexy time and
right.
she goes, no, I've done that before. This was different.
Yeah, I mean, especially when her mom was really out of sorts and looked shaken up.
Right.
With her being a cop, it's like, all right, this isn't something that would just normally shake her up, I think. Like,
right.
Normally I think she'd be able to handle herself.
Absolutely. And would not let Garvey see that she is visibly upset.
Right. But later on, May's talking to Tilly, and they both come up with maybe he has PTSD, which is completely valid.
Right.
Because they don't know what he's seen.
Very true, but they also raise the possibility of maybe he is possessed.
Which was weird. Tilly's like, oh yeah, PTSD. But it's like, okay, really? You're just going to throw that out? Like, oh, no big deal. He could be possessed. Maybe you need to be a little more forthright with knowing about the weird stuff because May doesn't know all of it.
Right.
And especially when Calvin's attitude just flips like that.
Yes.
And I love it because May's like, okay, well, use your phone, basically,
right.
to see if there's an infernal, which is great. But here's my question to you. If he wasn't possessed at that particular moment, would it even show up? Like if he wasn't in the Dredge personality?
Well, we kind of find out that it comes up inconclusive. So it's not a positive or a negative. Mm-hmm. It can't tell. So to me, if it can't tell, then he's possessed. You want it to be positive, but if it's inconclusive, that means there's something inside him that's not supposed to be there.
Gotcha.
It didn't come up all clean.
And even the possessed Calvin was acting weird around Tilly.
Oh, it absolutely was.
You'd think that somehow the Dredge would pull that back as to not give himself away.
Right.
But no, he had to get all in personal space and everything else. It's like, okay, you, get away from me. So Calvin's upstairs, though, on the stairs, and May goes up and kind of confronts him because, he's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know I'm keeping away and, what we've decided. And she's like, really? Because that wasn't what you did this morning.
Right.
And he looks at her like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I thought this was like the most telling, or it should have been, I should say, for May, when he doesn't remember even seeing her or any of the horrible things that almost happened.
Right.
And basically she had to call Garvey to verify when Calvin was seen last. And she's like, this morning in the living room?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, he kind of flipped out. He's like, okay, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, well, he brings up his dead brother and basically says he's a rotten person.
Yeah, I didn't understand that because we figured out that we didn't figure out. We were shown that it wasn't anything he had done. It was, unfortunately, his brother basically got into something he shouldn't have. And, I mean, Calvin didn't even pull the trigger.
No.
No matter what.
It was just the thought of him being possessed by the Dredge and what he could have done was, I think, what keyed his feelings of his dead brother and that he wasn't a good person because he almost did this to May.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know. I of course, am seeing it from a different point of view than the character is, so I'm like, it's not your fault.
Right. And you would think that it would have been a good time for Cal to go have a talk with Isaac about it, but no, he has to go pay the mayor a visit.
Now this was weird. This is obviously the Dredge driving at this point.
Yeah.
Because he stabs the mayor, but it's not fatal, but enough to, like, mess with him, I guess, mess up his arm, which kind of makes me wonder if maybe that was written in, if the actor had actually hurt his arm. Because, they've done that in some of the shows that we've watched and just...
Oh, yeah.
But then next thing we know, we see Calvin in the alchemy room. And he's, like, making a basically nuclear bullet. I can't say that word, guys. Sorry. So that it would not just kill whatever it was shot at, but basically disintegrate it. Because Isaac's like, oh wow, that's really serious. That would take clothes, jewelry, everything out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was weird that he said it that way. Because kind of focusing on it would take the jewelry out too.
Right. And you definitely had a feeling that Isaac was getting very concerned about Calvin and the ring.
But not enough to really push it, it seemed.
Right.
Which I didn't understand that. Why wouldn't you push it? Be like, all right, why are you doing this? This seems really awkward that you're making this super bullet. And he's like, maybe we should talk. But Calvin's like, yeah, later, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And it did almost seem like he wanted to say goodbye, but maybe the dredge was pulling him back enough.
Right.
And so he leaves, but the only person who decides, and I'm sorry, this just seemed like the worst time. You waited how long? Because he was up there making that bullet for quite some time. That wasn't a quick thing.
No.
And he had left for the mayor, blah, blah, blah. But, okay, Tilly just decides, oh, you know what? He might be possessed. What took you so long to tell everyone? If he might be possessed, I mean, even if you don't know everything about the ring, which I thought they brought her up to speed.
Yeah.
But even if you don't know everything and you think he's possessed, why do you wait so long? Why aren't you up there going, hey guys, we need to talk?
Yeah.
I think something's wrong. Yeah, not let's wait a few hours or however long it took him to drive all over and go make the bullet and everything else. That just seemed like a really bad idea.
Right. Maybe she decided she needed to contact her mother's coven before talking to the Hastings. I don't know.
I guess. It just seemed like this one, it did seem like maybe there was stuff missing.
Yeah.
Like little pieces.
Yes.
Maybe it was supposed to be a two-parter. And so they like condensed it. That's why I was mad at Tilly. Why didn't you call? But anyway. But we do have a little showdown later on down in the morgue with Calvin and Isaac. Because after Isaac finally finds out, he goes down to talk to him. It's like, hey, what's up, buddy? Why don't we talk a little bit? Why don't you let me hold on to the ring for a little bit? Yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah.
I know I'm dripping with sarcasm today because this episode made me mad.
Right.
I apologize, everyone. I like the show. This one just made me mad. There's always an episode that gets you like, seriously? Seriously?
Yeah.
This was it. Because you had a fight. Now, we've seen Isaac take Calvin down and play with him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Multiple occasions.
Now, do you think Calvin was able to best him because of the dredge?
I would have to say probably yes, because I really don't think that Isaac would have backed off with the possibility that Calvin was possessed by the dredge. Because he really hasn't backed off any from his training of Calvin. So to think that he may have just said, oh, I don't want to hurt my son, so Cal can take me down. Nah, that's not Isaac.
I mean, Isaac does get sliced.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like a scalpel may not be that easy when somebody's wearing clothes and moving around. But, I mean, he slices open his stomach. And as, you know, Isaac is down for the count at this point, and he's like, you know what? I don't know how fast you heal, so let me just take some of this with me. Give me a little more time.
Right.
Ew. So, yeah. Takes away some of the intestines and goes. It's like, all right, definitely no, Calvin was not driving here.
Right.
And somehow he's managed to come back again, though, to the forefront because he's trying to commit suicide with the super bullet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work because the dredge is like, we had a deal. And Calvin's like, screw you and the horse you came in on. This ain't happening. But the next thing we know, we hear like a gunshot, but we don't see anything.
Right.
Which kind of made me mad because it's like, all right, I know he didn't shoot himself, but I felt like it would have been better had we at least seen something like he shot at. Because I feel like killing him off screen like that would have been really weird.
Yes, absolutely would have been weird.
But, yeah, it was just a lot of weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, it really was. Now, of course, the mayor is smart enough to speak to Isaac about his son stabbing him rather than plotting revenge. And So it was nice to see both of them being very respectful to each other as far as this goes. And
I was surprised.
I was too, because you kind of figured that the mayor was going to go off, and he sure could have, but Isaac said, I'll talk.
And then, after they talk for a minute, it kind of dawns on Isaac, like, wait a minute, you're in my house.
Yeah. Ooh, no, what's gone wrong with the ward?
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, hold on, how did you get in here? How did you get past my wards? And the mayor's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Well, this was something that happened when the Dredge was in control. Apparently, he dug all the stuff up.
Right. And we had gotten a previous little flash of Calvin digging stuff up, and you didn't have a clue what he was digging up until now, and you go, oh, no.
Which I don't know, how Calvin was able to be on the wrong side of the wards then when he was possessed. Why it didn't, zap him or something.
Right.
So it's like the Dredge was not totally in control, just enough.
Yeah.
Which was weird. It didn't seem like that was something they can do, because why didn't he do it with any of the other hosts then?
Right.
There's a head scratcher for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go back with the mayor at the house, and I love it. They go up to the alchemy room, the whole clan, and they're like, all right, what are we going to do here? We got to figure this out. And the mayor's just like, yeah, I got my arm in a sling. You guys go ahead and read. I'm just going to stand here and look like I don't know what we're doing. And yet they figured out, okay, well, if he's possessed, what the hell is he doing? Wait a second. I think I've got it. And wasn't it Tilly and the mayor at the same time that figured it out?
I think so.
Yeah. That they're going to try some kind of resurrection.
Yep.
They need the blood of an immortal. And, there's just so many out there right now.
All right. Well, he got that from the mayor.
No, he got that from Isaac. By taking some intestine with him.
Yeah.
He got the blood of an infernal. And then he needs the blood of a virgin. And who was it? Tilly or May? Or not May? May?
Yeah.
I mean, first it's kind of like, yeah, where are you going to get that? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Where's Garvey?
And she, of course, calls Garvey and says, please call me back as soon as you get this.
Crap. The one time that you wish your daughter had sex, apparently.
Yeah.
But the possessed Calvin had called Garvey, and it's like, hey, we're taking you out of the kids' stable. Let's go. Meet me here. But don't bring anyone. Don't trust anyone. See, right there, to me, I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, that don't sound like Calvin that I know.
But at the same time, she's just like, yay, we're doing stuff, and he's not treating me like a kid.
Right.
Yeah, your red flag should have been going off in your head.
Yeah. But fortunately, Russ is not going to let her go by herself.
Thank God.
Yes.
But he's driving his brother's Jeep, which apparently is very important because he mentions it more than once.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just wait here. It's fine. But if you need me, call, text. I'm right here. If you need any super Russ powers, which she kind of looks at him and does an eye roll. It's like, okay, you stay here. It's like pat the knee. It's like, okay, honey, you sit here. It was almost like that. She might as well just pat his head.
It really was. Yeah.
Okay.
It really was.
But what else do we find out? That not only is Garvey missing, Calvin's gone, he's possessed. Wait a minute. Tilly's robe is missing from the basement, along with a certain dead body.
Right.
But what killed me is she's like, he took my robe. What? Why is this important? I don't understand, but it was stuck out in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the importance of that black robe was either, but it set Tilly off, that's for sure.
I know. I'm like, all right, this is random, but, well, Garvey finds Calvin, not Calvin, along with a little something extra. We suddenly have Skinny Jenkins, who happened to grab Russ. It's like, wait a minute. So is the Dredge letting these people out? Or is it, how is he coming out? Because I don't think Calvin would do it.
I think there's enough, Dredge has got enough control over him that he's able to at least get a couple of them out.
Ah, okay.
Skinny was the first one.
I'm guessing he had to be the very last one that had gone in then, which seems like that would have been a really big time frame, couple decades, right?
Right.
Impressive that there's been no infernals that were a problem.
At least big enough to be captured in the ring.
Okay, true.
I'm sure that they can't. That ring ain't got enough room to hold every single infernal out there.
He needs to expand storage. It's not a TARDIS. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it definitely needs to quadruple its storage capability.
He needs some off-site storage there.
Yeah, in cloud.
Well, we have not Kelvin doing a little ceremony, and the Dredge's body is up on this giant X, and Garvey's on the other side. And it's like, all right, well, we need some blood. And I was freaking out when they're like, okay, do you just need, like, the amount of blood you took from, say, the mayor?
Right.
Or are you planning on bleeding this poor girl? Like, yeah. I was kind of freaking out. Like, oh, God, what does this mean?
Yes, there was a concern, big concern there, that we might lose Garvey in this as well.
Yeah. I mean, they do basically knock her out. And so they're going to do something in regards to her blood. I still wasn't sure. I think it was just a little bit. It didn't seem like they were going to try to totally bleed her dry. I figured that something was going to happen, though, later. And it was going to be, like, in front of her family. Because the Dredge knew that the Hastings were coming.
Oh, absolutely. He wanted the Hastings to come.
And poor Russ, tied up, he doesn't have anything he can do. Except he kind of gets to his phone and manages to at least send like an SOS so they get their location.
Right.
Before Skinny basically like busts up the phone. It's like, dude, these aren't cheap.
Yeah. But will get much worse for old Russ boy.
It does. And this was, like you said, the Dredge's plan. It's like, okay, I'm going to get in my body and I'm going to screw with the entire family.
Yep.
Because Skinny Jenkins was really weird when they were doing the incantation. And then when the Dredge basically is like waking up in his own body, like Calvin is handing him the ring. But I felt like it still wasn't him. It was like the Dredge was still in his body. Because it just seems weird that he would just hand the ring if he was totally himself again.
Right. Yeah, there was still a lot of Dredge residue in Calvin.
The Dredge is just weird and creepy. Like, he's not like these other demons where they have to be, or Infernal, sorry, where they have to totally be in the body. So the fact that he has that much power, he can almost, like, be in two as he's pulling over, it just seems strange to me.
Yeah.
And they did say he was old, but they didn't know how old, so. Well, the Hastings, +1, have, like, a little secret tunnel underneath to get them where they need to go, which was interesting because they were able to get to where the Dredge was in the woods pretty fast.
Right. And you get a few comments that it was because of the tunnels being there that Isaac actually founded the town there.
Because it was the ley lines.
Right.
But now, did the mayor actually say this? I don't remember 100%. That's why the Dredge was drawn there too?
I think so.
Okay. I was like, so it's not just good, it's the bad and everything.
Right.
But they get there, and of course, weird shit happens again because the Dredge is like, all right, you're here. Good. Freezes them all in different spots.
Right.
It's like, all right, they're like in giant jello. This is going to suck. But Isaac has this awesome sword that's able to cut through anything. So he like breaks through the weird spell that had the mayor and him trapped and ends up taking, well, like he threw it. So it would cut through B and May's little pods.
Right.
But wait, May also had Garvey in hers, right? I'm like trying to remember where everybody was.
No, not yet, because Garvey was still tied up.
Oh, yeah.
They hadn't Garvey down yet. But B runs over to Calvin and gets him behind a rock and really does some voodoo on him to bring him completely back.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, are they going to explain this?
Yeah.
Because like the first time we seen her do anything, it was like Egyptian.
Right.
And then when she's making, the soaps or the lotions, she sounded like Caribbean.
Right.
And now she's doing what seemed like serious voodoo. It's like, okay, you're killing me.
Yeah.
Please explain
Exactly.
B. But as all of this is going down, the Dredge is letting all these bad guys out of the ring.
Right. And it's been centuries because you get all kinds of costumes from the 60s to the 1800s to the 1700s.
It was so weird. And it's
really
like they were in black and white, too.
Yeah.
I was watching it going, all right, so okay, I can understand the sirens were singers.
Right.
I get that. They almost looked like the Supremes. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, they really did.
Then you have like a football player and a cheerleader.
Yep.
And you had like a yogi who was,
Yep.
I don't understand what he was supposed to be. I kind of wish that, because we did get a little thing where Russ created an infernal like database, which is
Right.
great. I don't know how he found it, but whatever. What the hell the yogi was supposed to be? Because he was
Yeah,
like
that was
shooting things
nice.
out of his
Forehead.
third
yeah.
eye. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is so weird. And then, yeah, was it a Roman soldier?
Yes.
It's just like the weirdest amount of people. Like, it really was from all over the place.
Yes, it was.
It was cool, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's like, I really wanted some more information. Can we pause and like put a little pop-up bubble next to them so I know what these are? And I mean, they only did mention the sirens, which that made sense to me.
Right.
But the rest of them, like, I don't know what you all are. The football player's just going
Right.
to tackle everybody? What? But anyway, Garvey does wake up while this is happening and they get her down. She grabs Russ and kind of runs and hides with him. And she ends up giving him a kiss for luck, but it actually knocks him out, which is probably not a bad idea because then he's not going to get in the way.
Right.
And nobody can use him as a shield because you got to pick up dead weight then.
Yeah.
That's not so easy.
No.
But they have everybody basically using every little trick in the book to take the dredge down.
Right. And unfortunately, he manages to recapture Calvin and gets him on the thing
Right.
and is about to basically do what he did to his father with the blade. And just about as he's ready to swing it, this huge bolt of energy blasts him and you go, what the hell?
Right. It's like, who's got that little power tucked away that nobody mentioned?
Right. And we see it's Tilly and the Wiccans.
Which was weird,
Yeah.
especially when they had turned their back on her.
Yes.
But apparently it's going to work. Well, then they decide to start summoning the power of Gaia. So they're fighting, but they're also like, okay, everybody in a circle. They got all of the Hastings in the circle and they grabbed Russ in there too.
Right.
But it kind of like, okay, hey, Wiccans, you guys are done. You don't need to be in the circle. It seemed kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fighting and like all the power gets pulled and it's like, okay, great. The dredge gets zapped and all of the infernals seem to have been taken out at this time. But what's happening? Because all of a sudden there's this like tornado.
Right.
And they're holding hands. This is why I was like, all right, they just kind of totally dismissed the Wiccans at this point. Bye, guys. We're all holding hands. Good luck.
Right. Tilly's got more power than you guys do, so.
Yeah, I guess. And Russ starts to like slip and he falls away. And I'm like, does this mean all those other people are dead? It just seemed weird because what was the point of that exactly?
That I'm really not sure of because you see the dredge first kind of blow up and go swoosh up into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn around and have to see them in Twister. And it's like, huh?
Yeah,
But
I
I
was
guess
confused.
that was their way of either cleaning it up or eliminating any trace or closing the door. I'm not sure which.
And well, Russ's brother's Jeep decides to come down into the cave.
Yeah.
That sucks for him. But they're checking and everybody seemed to be fine. Russ flew away, basically, probably slammed against the cave wall, but he was fine. We're
Right.
guessing the Wiccans are fine. And then we find B, who has a wound that appears to be fatal. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Exactly.
I was so confused with the way this ended.
Yeah. How could the blade have gone up with them and then come down and went through B? The odds of that are slim to almost impossible.
Right. So, I don't know. I did feel like, okay, maybe this was supposed to be like 2 parts and they just cut a bunch of stuff out.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about it?
It was kind of choppy, to say the least. And it was great to see them all working together. And one time you're seeing Garvey use her magic and B, almost everybody is firing magic blasts at people and it's like, okay, this is cool. why haven't we seen this seen this before?
Mm-hmm.
From all of them, not just Isaac and Calvin trying to do his thing.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. If this is the end of it, I am not satisfied with this ending.
Yeah, no.
Like, most of the time, if we have a season of something and it usually gives you something like, okay, we're going to go here for the next season.
Right.
This just was like, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
So I'm not satisfied if this is the end. I'll tell you that.
Right. I would hate to not have B in season 2. That's for sure. Maybe it would bring the family closer together and maybe bring May and Garvey completely into the fold. I don't know. But yeah, B has been so underused in this season so far that there's so much more to her than we have any clue of right now.
Yes, I need more information. I need closure. All right. Well, what do you guys think? So let us know at sci-fi talk@fangirlzone.com. Did you like it? Did you like the way it ended? Did you feel like pieces were missing? We want to hear from you. And while you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform that you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends. We do hope you're enjoying this podcast and all of our podcasts. And if there's something coming and you'd like to be a part of it on an episode or two on Sci-Fi Talk, just shoot us a message. And we love having people on with us. We haven't had anybody on. Well, we've had a few people on, I should say.
Yes.
But we love having fans, not just other people that we know that like totally love it, just like fans out there who are listening to this and watching the show. We want you, because we want to know what your crazy tinfoil hat theories are on everything. So shoot us a message, check out the website, check out the Facebook page and all of our other stuff that's everywhere. And for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I'm Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. That's for taking my robe, you fallopian tube.
And until next time.